Guys, welcome to the Overtime Podcast, Episode 2. Here we are again with only a couple more days until the NFL season kicks off. We're about to have football back in full swing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very excited. And I just, football ending how it did, and then you got to wait all this time. And when it's finally here, you're raring to go. You're ready to go. You're ready to put on your favorite team's jerseys, ready to do your pregame rituals. You're ready for this NFL season because you don't know what it is. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's scripted. You don't know what's not scripted. Little jokey joke, whatever. But I think that this is going to be a very interesting season. For the first time since 1997, we are not going to see Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, and I can keep going down the line. We're not going to see the likes of those quarterbacks anymore. We're only down to one old guard quarterback, and that is Aaron Rodgers. So it's going to be a very interesting season. Before we get started today, I do want to give a huge shout out to the Missouri Swarm, my football team. Miss you guys. Can't wait to see you guys on the field on October 1st. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. It's just, it's crazy. It's going to be monumental for us to be together again. I can't wait to see you guys. And let's get the show started. So before we get into our NFL action for today, I do want to, start off with going over some notable scores from college, from the college football arena. So college football came back in full swing as of Saturday, and last Saturday we had a couple of games. So those games from last Saturday, not the one that just came, but the one before that, Notre Dame beat Navy. USC beat San Jose State, and then Utah beat Florida. Now, the Saturday that just passed, we have Oklahoma beating the crap out of Arkansas State, 73-0. Tennessee beating Virginia, Iowa beating Utah State, Michigan beating East Carolina, Colorado coming out as the underdogs against TSU and pulling out the victory at the last minute, 45-42. That's what you get for doubting Deion Sanders, who is probably the most underrated coach in college football. Deion is not like these other coaches in football. He's not traditional. He doesn't play by your rules. He plays by the beat of his own drum, and that's why Colorado is probably the most underdog team in college right now. And if people do not start getting wind of what he can do, I do believe Colorado will win the games that they're supposed to lose. Wholeheartedly, I think that's the argument that needs to be said. This is what it is. Going over to Mississippi, beating Mercer 73-7. Oregon beating Portland 81-7. Wisconsin beating Buffalo. Texas beating Rice. Notre Dame beating Tennessee State. Ohio State beating Indiana. Washington. Washington beating Boise State. Tennessee Martin losing to Georgia. And then USC beating Nevada. I am sorry about that. I think I did say Washington did beat Boise State. Yes, okay. Just want to make sure I read that right. Then we have Kansas State beating Southeast Missouri. New Mexico losing to Texas A&M. West Virginia losing to Penn State. UNC beating South Carolina. Middle Tennessee losing to Alabama. South Alabama losing to Tulane. Oregon State beating San Jose State. Then we have LSU losing to Florida State in a weird fashion. And Clemson getting blown out to Duke. Couple teams that are, within our in the top in our top ranked teams are losing to other teams. I mean, as far as LSU is concerned, I mean, they're not what they're going to be. I don't think anybody. I think everyone knows LSU has a very good football program, but I don't think it's going to be the football program that we're used to, and I think that's going to be the case for the next couple of years. But hey, maybe what do I know? What I do know is that I'm ready to talk about the main topic of today. Today's topic is we are going to rank all the Week 1 quarterbacks 1 through 32. Who's the weakest Week 1 quarterback going into the first week of football, and who is the best quarterback going into the week of football? Now, With that being said, my top 10 quarterbacks in the league, this is the list of, this is how I put it. 32 through 20, those quarterbacks right there are the guys who they're in systems that can win a couple of games, but they're not going to get you to the playoffs. 19 through 10, potential quarterbacks that can get you into the playoffs and maybe win you a couple of games in the playoffs, but nobody to where I can be like, those are Super Bowl caliber quarterbacks. That being said, 10 through 1 are all, those 10 guys are the 10 quarterbacks in the league that I believe can lead their team with the right offense and defense to a Super Bowl. So let's get this started. I wrote this list and I'm very excited to talk about it. And I want to, after this, I want to hear everybody's opinions, everything. So I'm ready to get this started. So let's get this started. At number 32, dead last, I have the Arizona Cardinals quarterbacks of either Clayton Tune or Joshua Dobbs. We don't know who's going to be the week 1 starting quarterback for week 1 for the Cardinals, but we do know it's one of those two. And honestly, if we're going to be honest here, the Cardinals are the worst team in the NFL. They will be the worst team in the NFL. They're tanking this season by trading away the potential starter that could have got you a couple of games. And on top of that, you've already got Kyle Murray, who is on injury reserve or whatever, the PUP list, whatever he may be. By getting rid of Colt McCoy and either getting these two to do your offense, you've essentially said that you don't care about your season. You're tanking, and you're going to get the best pick available. And that's honestly what the Cardinals have done. You've traded away everything. You've gotten rid of everything that you could. You are rebuilding. You're in a rebuild mode that was supposed to be done 2 years ago. And here we are again, rebuilding again. So the Cardinals have a lot to go for, but honestly, they are the worst franchise in football right now, and they are going to be the worst football franchise going forward. Number 31 is Baker Mayfield. I am sorry. I don't care what you guys think of me on this one. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers are not winning. They're not winning their division, and they're not going to win that many games. I don't see it. I honestly believe by week 8, we're going to see a totally different outlook on the Buccaneers. They're probably going to have another quarterback in there in that system. And they're probably going to, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Evans or Goodwin asked for a trade. I would not be surprised if that came down to being the fact of the matter is the Buccaneers have, honestly, the second worst offense and defense in the league. Without Tom Brady being there, I don't see the Buccaneers actually scratching any type of surface anytime soon. And honestly, it might be time to start looking into rebuilding. Going into number 30 is Bryce Young. Bryce Young, to me, is the worst starter as far as the rookies concerned. The Panthers, they're not a bad team, but they're not ready to elevate their game yet. Yes, I did have them second in their division, winning second in the division, but I don't think, as far as Bryce Young is concerned, I think they need somebody more veteran, who has more experience than Bryce Young to lead them to that. Without that, I do believe that the Panthers would fail if they don't get a veteran quarterback behind Bryce Young. I believe Bryce Young should sit for the year, and we should bring in a veteran. The Panthers would do well, probably get into the playoffs. But that's just my opinion. I don't think Bryce Young is ready for this type of play yet, and from what I've seen in the preseason, it's just not going to work out the way people want it to be. At number 29, I got Ryan Tannehill. It's the Titans, man. I'm sorry. Yes, you have Derrick Henry, but if that's your argument to it, I don't even count. I'm sorry. I don't count D-Hop as a weapon for Tannehill because Tannehill can't throw a ball. I'm sorry. Tannehill is not a good quarterback to me. I don't know why people insist that Ryan Tannehill still has it. He had 2 good seasons and that was it. That's not enough for me to be like, yeah, Ryan Tannehill's that guy. He's coming off an injury. You guys already drafted, I believe you guys drafted a quarterback behind him. So it's going to be weird to see how the season turns out for the Titans, but I don't think Ryan Tannehill's that guy anymore. It is what it is on that part. Yeah, you got D-Hop, but honestly, how many throws are you really going to give that guy? Like out of Ryan Tannehill, whatever. Going on to number 28, we got Jimmy Garoppolo out of the Raiders. It's the Raiders. the Raiders. It's the Raiders. I don't have to say much. Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, he thrived under. Jimmy Garoppolo only thrived because he had a good offense within the 49ers and they had like a top 3 defense. That's the only reason Jimmy Garoppolo can get you to a Super Bowl. That's it. Other than that, I don't know what the Raiders expected by getting Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, you got Devontae Adams, and yes, you got Josh Jacobs at the helm of your offense. But what else did you really go out and get? You don't really have a defense. You got rid of Darren Waller. I don't know. If this is your answer to, first of all, your division, then sure, Jimmy Garoppolo versus Russell Wilson is a great matchup. But as far as anything else goes, you're not beating Patrick Mahomes and you're not beating Justin Herbert with Jimmy Garoppolo. So that's just going to be that thing. Derek Carr had Devontae Adams, and Derek Carr also had Josh Jacobs last year. Didn't do much with them. But we see where he's at, and he's in a whole different system. Now, I also want to say that it's not entirely Jimmy Garoppolo's fault as well as why he got up to this ranking. I also want to say that the coach sucks too. So it's the Raiders we're talking about here. Honestly, the Raiders are, it's the Raiders, whatever. Going into number 27, we have Desmond Ritter, whatever his name is, from the Falcons. I don't know what to say about the Falcons other than the fact that, you're going to have a really phenomenal running game going on. But other than that, I don't see Desmond Ritter really doing much with the Falcons. I think that they're probably going to give up on him in the next season or two if he doesn't produce numbers. And that's just the unfortunate part of this game. But that's just how I see it. I'm calling it how I see it. And Desmond is just not that guy for the Falcons. They're going to have a really great running game, but other than that, especially if Pitts doesn't get his stuff together as as at least number 2 tight end in the league, there's not much we can actually say and honestly hope for out of the Falcons. Going on to number 26 is Sam Howell for the Commanders. Here's my thing with that. I like the Commanders. I really do, especially under the coach and under Eric Bieniemy. But Sam Howell is not a starting quarterback caliber to me. But I feel like if you can get him to thrive and throwing and not making mistakes and throwing the balls that he needs to be thrown and stuff like that, I feel like the Commanders will be very dangerous. But as of right now, as of week 1, I don't see it. I don't see Sam Howell being like, oh my God, MVP season. It's not happening for him. But time will tell. This is just my early prediction, so we'll see. At 25, we have Daniel Jones. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones getting that $40 million contract extension for 3 years or whatever. Dumbest thing the Giants can do. You won't play Saquon, but you'll pay this man who's giving you one good season out of how many? What did you expect? Now you don't have. You lost some of your receivers. You have an injury prone receiver out of Sterling. You have an okay defense. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones is not worth what was paid to him. He's not going to lead the Giants to the promised land. Yeah, he'll get you to the playoffs, but if you want to be technical, it's the NFC. The NFC will just let anybody in the playoffs. And the Giants are no exception. Daniel Jones is no exception, but Daniel Jones is a sloppy quarterback, and he's only had realistically a few good moments within his career. Other than that, sure, yeah, you had that first year coach with the Giants to get them to the par, but other than that, I don't see Daniel Jones leading that again. I don't see that same energy. But again, time will tell, but it's the Giants. I'm not really expecting much out of Daniel Jones. And going on to the number 24 spot, we have C.J. Stroud out of the Texans. Here's the thing about C.J. Stroud. I like C.J. Stroud. I like the Texans. They're going to need at least a couple more weapons. That's all I'm saying. C.J. Stroud is not going to lead the Texans to a playoff win or to a game yet, but he's going to get them some wins. He's decent enough to where I can see oh snap, okay, he's making strides. He needs to develop. He needs time, and I think that's going to be the move right there. Give him some time. Don't let the first season fool you. Let him develop this first year. Let him make the mistakes this first year, and he'll be good. I think he's a good fit for the Texans. The Texans have been looking for a star quarterback ever since Deshaun Watson, and now you found him in C.J. Stroud. And I think we should really watch out for the Texans, what they do as far as this season and the next season. At number 23, we have Mac Jones and the Patriots. Hell, it's Bill Belichick we're talking about here, but Mac Jones, he showed us that he's not that good of a quarterback. But then again, when you have a defensive coordinator running your offense, I mean, what do you really expect? You don't really expect much. So I honestly believe that if Mac Jones isn't a bad quarterback. He's decent, but he's not bad. But we're gonna see what happens, because right now, Bill Belichick is solidifying that the fact that he didn't win those rings, it was all Tom Brady, and that's what the solidification is right now. It's not no genius of Bill Belichick. He's not no coaching genius or whatever. This is him messing up big time, and Mac Jones is showing up as like, maybe I'm good, maybe I'm not. I don't know. At number 22, we have Kenny Pickett from the Steelers. A winning season is a winning season. I don't see Kenny Pickett leading the Steelers to a playoff, but I see him winning them to a winning season. There's a difference there, and Mike Tomlin has never been under, 500. So, of course, Kenny Pickett's going to get them some games. And hell, I might be wrong. He might be a top 15 quarterback. I don't know yet. We'll see. But Kenny Pickett, I think, give him a season, maybe another 2 seasons, and we might see some really good development out of him. But right now, this is where he's ranked. 21 is Justin Fields from the Bears. Here's my thing about Justin Fields. Great runner, not a great passer. He fixes that. We have something here. You have a team. The Bears has a team to where we can really sit down and be like, you know what? They are a potential playoff team. They have the potential. They have what it takes to win a playoff game or get into the playoffs as a wild card seed. It's up to Justin Fields, though. Justin Fields needs to learn how to throw the football. And so if Justin Fields does that, I think we'll see another dangerous animal. And if I'm being quite frank, Justin Fields has this is his last season to prove that he was worth what they got him for. Justin Fields needs to prove it right here now that he is a good quarterback. He can lead that offense to what the Bears are looking for. Because honestly, the Bears are scratching that surface, but never getting above ice. So if you get that scratch and you get above the ice mode, we got something working here, and we're willing to work with you. Other than that, Justin Fields might want to start looking at a different team next year. At number 20, we have Jordan Love with the Packers. I've seen bits and pieces of Jordan Love play. He's decent if he had a good receiving core. Not really a lot of receivers out there that we know by name with the Packers. Defense might handle it a little bit better, but other than the fact of the matter is that Jordan Love, he's not going to do what the Packers are asking him to do. They're out there searching for their franchise quarterback right now. Excuse me. And it's not Jordan Love. Jordan Love is not a franchise quarterback. Not right now, at least. Maybe there's something. Maybe he goes for, 4,000, 5,000 yards this season, 40-something touchdowns, and he shocks us all. Maybe Jordan Love is the Tom Brady of his generation. We'll never know until we see him play. Now that he's getting the start without Aaron Rodgers being there, I think that we need to really take heed to see what Jordan Love does this season. Number 19, Deshaun Watson, the Browns. The Browns paid this man all that money, all the controversy surrounding him, whatever. He needs to win. It's simple as that. He needs to win. He's a quarterback that has a long history of losing, especially when it matters. He needs to win. There is no ifs, and or buts about it. He needs to win. Like, this is his year to do something with the Browns, but do I see them winning their division, getting out of their division? Not at all. This is something he has to do for himself. At number 18, I got Jared Goff with the Lions. I love the Lions. I think the Lions is an underrated team. I think Jared Goff is a very underrated quarterback. But do I think he has what it takes to get them over the hump? Not at all. It's going to take a couple more. It's going to take at least another year for the Lions to be playoff ready, playoff potential ready. And it's not going to be this year. I think they're going to end the same way they did last year, just not getting into the playoffs by at least one game. I can wholeheartedly see that. They put up a lot of good games last year, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions did fight their way in for a wild card spot. And I think Jared Goff has the potential to get them there. Now, to scream Super Bowl for Detroit, let's not push our luck here. Number 17, I got Derek Carr and the Saints. Okay, so hear me out here. Derek Carr, not a bad quarterback. When you really look at it, he's not a bad quarterback. He was just bad with the Raiders, but that's because the Raiders had a really bad coach. Now that you go into the Saints system, you're looking like an MVP caliber quarterback. You got Michael Thomas, you got Alvin Kamara, you got a couple of offensive linemen, you got a defense. We're going to see something different from Derek Carr, and I think everybody needs to watch out. Derek Carr might be the most dangerous, underrated quarterback in the league right now. Or then again, it could be the same Derek Carr of the Saints. We got to kind of see. But from what I've seen from preseason and how, the reports are saying and stuff, I think Derek Carr is posed to have a decent season this year. Number 16, we have Matthew Stafford from the Rams, a former Super Bowl champion. Let's face it, the Rams are kind of in the same boat as Arizona, but not as bad. I think Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, they can use what they got and maybe scrape into a playoff berth, maybe scrape into the bottom round. But I think at a certain point, you kind of have to start thinking about rebuilding. But Matthew Stafford still has a quality, at least a good 2 quality years out of him. And again, former, Super Bowl champion. So, with that being said, we're going to go on to number 15. We're in the top 15 now. And we got Russell Wilson for the Broncos, another former Super Bowl champion. Russell Wilson is he had a bad showing last year with the Broncos. I don't think the Broncos knew exactly what they were getting themselves into. The Seahawks still won that trade by all means, but here it is, plain and simple for Russell Wilson with Sean Payton. The goal is, in everyone's eyes, is Super Bowl. So you have Sean Payton, who led Drew Brees to the Super Bowl, got him a ring. It's the same thing here. Sean Payton and Russell Wilson together should lead to Super Bowl ring. Will they get there, though? That is to be determined, but as of right now, no, I don't see it. At number 14, we have Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is the best rookie quarterback starter out of all his peers. The reason why I say that is that his athleticism is unreal. He's a freak of nature. I don't think anyone's watched his tapes, how he plays. I think that the Colts are posed for a decent season. Not a good one, not a bad one, but decent. They might scrape out the bottom of the barrel and get into by a 7th round pick, or not pick, but 7th round of the wild card. But until we see more, until we get to really see him play, right now that's where he's staying. He might go up, he might go down. I don't know. At number 13, we got Dak Prescott with the Cowboys. Look, it's simple as this, Cowboys fans. It's Dak's last season. It's as simple as this. If Dak doesn't produce the numbers that you're all looking for, that Jerry Jones is looking for, Trey Lance has a starting job next season. It is what it is. Dak Prescott, this is his season to show us that he is an MVP caliber quarterback and that he can get America's team, let me do that again, America's team to the Super Bowl. If not, Dak Prescott might as well go look for a new team. I heard Arizona might do a trade for him next season. Who knows? At number 12, we have Tua with the Dolphins. Look, Tua played like an MVP quarterback up until his injury last year. He has what it takes. He has the offense. They got the defense. The Dolphins are a very dangerous team this year. If it wasn't for that injury, I do believe the Dolphins would have been in the AFC Championship. Wholeheartedly believe that. Then we have Geno Smith at number 11 with the Seahawks. Hey, man, Geno Smith had a really great season last year, especially as a starter. He's always been a backup, but as a starter coming out, getting the Seahawks to a wild card round. And I think that him, DK Metcalf, Charbonnet, the defense, I honestly think that we'll see the Seahawks back in the playoffs again. I don't think we need to really worry about anything else, but the Seahawks are going to the playoffs again. And now we're going into the top 10 quarterbacks of the league list. These are all controversy. So, at number 10, I got Josh Allen. Ooh, I know a lot of people are going to be mad at it. Let me explain why I have Josh Allen at number 10 for the Bills. Josh Allen is not a top 5 quarterback at all. Josh Allen is top 10. He is good, but he's not the best. Josh Allen has the potential to lead the Bills to a Super Bowl, but will he lead a team to a Super Bowl is the question. And honestly, no. No. I keep saying that this year is his year. This is the year that the Super Bowl goes through him and everything like that. I don't see it. I just don't see it. His division is way too stacked to even consider that it's going through him. His division has a lot of great talent within that division, and he has to play them guys 6 times this year. He has to play those guys 6 times this year. So out of those 6 games, if he drops 4 of those games, which I potentially see him doing, he might as well kiss the playoffs goodbye. That's just my honest opinion for the Bills. This is his season too. I think this is the last season with him and Stephon Diggs. If they don't do anything, one of them is gone. And I put my money on Stephon Diggs being gone. I think he's the wide receiver leaving. They're going to keep Josh Allen, but don't count on Stephon Diggs to bail you out anymore. And number 9, I got Brock Purdy and the 49ers. I don't care what none of y'all say. Y'all gonna try to rip me a new one saying Brock Purdy didn't play enough, blah, blah, blah. I saw enough last year to know that if Brock Purdy would have played in that championship game with the Eagles, it would have been an entirely different outcome. There would have been more points scored on the San Francisco side. They was beating up on the 4th-string quarterback. They had Christian McCaffrey in as quarterback. Let's be real. Brock Purdy won his job against Trey Lance and got Trey Lance kicked out of San Francisco. So obviously Brock Purdy is good. And I think he's going to grow, and I think we should watch out for the 49ers again. They are definitely going to have a very high-powered offense and a very, very high-powered defense. At number 8, I got Kirk Cousins with the Vikings. Yes, I think Kirk is better than Josh Allen. Sure, he can't play well when the lights are on, but he still has TJ Hawkinson. You still got a top 10 defense, and you still got Justin Jefferson to throw to, of all people. Let's not even go there, man. I don't want to hear it. Kirk Cousins is the most underrated quarterback in the league, man. Kirk Cousins throws numbers. The Vikings are going to be in that mix. The Vikings are going to be in the playoff mix. No matter how much you cut it, dice it, whatever, the Vikings are going to be there. So I need y'all to stop disrespecting Kirk Cousins. Go disrespect somebody else, but it's not going to be Kirk because Kirk is going to win you some games. At number 7, I got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has no excuse to lose anything unless he comes up against any of the other 6 quarterbacks on this list. Other than that, he has no excuse to lose his division. He has no excuse to not be in the playoffs. And he has no excuse to not win his division. The Jets have it all. They have the offense. They have the defense. You got everything in place for you guys to make a monumental run to the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers has everything he needs to get that 2nd Super Bowl. Anything else would be a total failure. It would be a total waste. Anything under that, like I said, it's going to be a waste of time. So this is Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be something that he needs to figure out this season. At number 6, I got Justin Herbert. I got Justin Herbert and the Chargers. The Chargers are a great team. The Chargers do things and they make games interesting. Justin Herbert coming in was unprecedented. He's best rookie quarterback to come out, I believe, of all time. Justin Herbert is that guy, man. I don't think anybody gives him his flowers, and I understand that. I understand as a Chiefs fan, Justin Herbert could lead the Chargers to a Super Bowl if everyone stays healthy. You need Eckler to stay healthy. You need Williams to stay healthy. You need everybody on that team to stay as healthy as possible to get you over that hump. Because the Chargers are the only one of the only teams on this list, honestly, that has the potential to knock off like the Chiefs and the Bills and the Bengals. It's the Chargers. They're the only ones that I could potentially say wholeheartedly, yeah, they're going to do that. It just all depends on health for Justin Herbert and the team. Going into our top five, number 5 is Lamar Jackson with the Ravens. This conflicted me to make the top 5 list, but I have to understand that Lamar Jackson is a very good player. Aside from injuries, yes, he's only made it to one postseason. I think it's just because we don't give Lamar Jackson enough credit for what he's done for the Ravens. And yeah, we want the Ravens to win quickly, excuse me, but it's not going to happen overnight. And now you have the pieces around. You got him the receivers he needs. You got him paid. There is no excuse for Lamar Jackson not to do well this year. Lamar Jackson should be, they should be number 2 in their division. Honestly, they could win their division. It just all depends on how well they throw the ball, what mistakes they make, and what mistakes they clean up. And that's how I'm determining if the Ravens are going to be good or not. But Lamar Jackson is a top 5 quarterback of this league. Number 4 is Trevor Lawrence of the Jaguars. Yes, Trevor Lawrence deserves to be the number 4. He deserves to be in the top 5. There's no way anybody cannot discredit what Trevor Lawrence has done. The Jaguars are doing things right. The Jaguars are going to be a threat to a lot of different teams. Trevor Lawrence, if no one's careful, Trevor Lawrence is going to be that guy to host the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the year. If everyone keeps taking him for granted, Trevor Lawrence will be hosting the Lombardi Trophy up, kissing it, because he's that good. He's that good. And if you guys don't believe me, go watch his games last year. Go watch what he did. He's done stuff that we haven't seen anybody really do. I mean, he's good. He's good. I mean, and inside when I say he's done stuff that we never seen anybody do, I mean we see stuff that the other quarterbacks above him has never done. How about that? Number 3 is Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Yes, Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback in the league. I respect his game. He has one of the best offensive lines, and not offensive lines. Oh, I'm lying on that part. He has one of the best offensive weapons as far as Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins, and he has Tyler Boyd. Those 3 weapons right there, and Joe Mixon in the backfield, yes. He has what it takes to win a Super Bowl. He's taken his team to a Super Bowl. They just, they splattered at the end, and he hasn't been back since. But Joe Burrow has the cadence to do it. And so with that being said, I believe Joe Burrow in the future, we'll probably see it within the next couple of years, he'll have a Lombardi of his own, but right now, he's stuck behind Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, there was so much bad talk about him going into last season. There was so much of wondering about his injuries and all this, blah, blah, blah. Let's face it, Jalen Hurts is a phenomenal quarterback. It is what it is. I don't think anybody can really discredit what he did, taking that team, especially off of injury, to the Super Bowl. Was the Super Bowl run easy for the Eagles, though? It felt kind of like it at times, but either way it goes, it's got to be Jalen Hurts almost winning that Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes. It says a lot, and Jalen Hurts played a phenomenal game in the Super Bowl. If we discredit that and we don't talk about that, we're discrediting who he is. A lot of people leave Jalen Hurts out of the top 5. They put like Josh Allen in there, blah, blah. I'm sorry. I have to pick quarterbacks that's went to a Super Bowl, that's taken their team to a Super Bowl. Which leads me to number one, and the most obvious number one choice, whether you hate it, love it, don't like it, don't like him, I don't care. You have to give it up for Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He is the only quarterback on this list with 2 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs. He's the only quarterback on this list. There's 3 other quarterbacks on this list in the league right now that have Super Bowl rings, and that's Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. Other than that, those 3 quarterbacks right there have 1 ring. Patrick Mahomes has 2. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, hands down. Patrick Mahomes, with that being said, has more playoff wins than some of these franchises on our list. Say what you want to say about Patrick Mahomes. Say what you want to say about the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is more likely to win the Super Bowl than 50% of these teams on our list. It's easy. That was easy math here. So anyways, that's my list. That's my countdown here. I think that I've made a good point. I think everything has aligned itself and perfectly for week 1. We have a lot of action going into week 1. We got a lot of games going into week 1. And so I can't wait to see how week 1 plays out. If you guys need to know what I said as far as the scores, as not scores, but who's going to win week 1, please refer to my previous video when we talk about the week 1 matchups and stuff like that. This has been a very wonderful episode, guys. You guys have been awesome. Continue the support, please. I need you guys to like and follow the YouTube channel, follow the podcast. Let's get this going. Overtime is going into overtime. I promise you. More content every week. Check me out on TikTok. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. Everywhere. Just follow. Hit that follow button. Overtime is coming at you live every Tuesday. And sometimes we might be doing emergency podcasts. We are going to be the best podcast when it comes to our sports network. By the way, before I get out of here, I want to give you a little updates on certain things that I've been seeing around the NFL. So for one, Travis Kelce has injured himself. He has a hyperextension in his knee. They're going to do an MRI tomorrow as of Wednesday to see if he's going to be ready for Thursday. So fantasy owners, if you have Travis Kelce, just as a precaution, make sure you have a backup tight end. Also, with the Chris Jones situation, I'm telling Chiefs fans now, I'm a Chiefs fan, but I'm telling Chiefs fans now, I think it's okay if we trade Chris Jones. We'll be okay. We'll be fine. We'll be fine if Chris Jones leaves. Chris Jones is not the end of the world. We have other players that we need to sign, and with the money that we could be signing them with, we can save by not re-signing Chris Jones or letting him walk. I do see an imminent trade by the first couple of weeks if he doesn't report to training camp or report to practice or whatever he wants to do. Whatever his holdout is, whatever the Chris Jones situation is, I do see that. Other than that, prayers out for Alex Smith. His daughter had a tumor in her forehead and had to get 2 surgeries. So we want to extend a big shout out to Alex Smith and our condolences to it. We hope that she makes a fast recovery. Alex Smith was a San Francisco 49er, a Chief, and at the end of his career, a Washington Redskin. So lots of love to Alex Smith. Lots of love to his family and hope that everything works out perfectly for him. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful night. Thank you for coming to the Overtime Podcast. We will see you next week with those scores and updates on the NFL Week 1. So I cannot wait to see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay blessed, and let's get it.